All right, what's up, family? Got another book review for you. This is an oldie but goodie. Here it is right here.
Goody. It's a great book.
Yeah, this is called In the Name, hope I ain't blocking. In the Name of, let me get in the sun. In the Name
Of Sisterhood.
of Sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's by Phyllis Sims. I even give you a, what you gonna say, epilogue, whatever. I actually met her personally. As you can see, she actually signed my book for me. I forgot what mall. It was either Woodbridge Mall, New Jersey, or Menlo Park Mall, New Jersey. I'll give you a little story about that too at the end of our story. That was a doozy too. But anyway, let's get into it. This was a great book, wasn't it? I read this a long time ago. This was another one of them books I had said, I can't wait till my daughters get older and I wanted them to read. And I wish we had them two here and we could all do it because we was going at it with this book. Yes. Anyway, so let's get into it. What this book was about. It was about these 4 sisters. They weren't biological sisters, but sometimes remember what the old saying says, blood makes us related, but love, loyalty, and trust makes us family. Nice. And that was the case with these girls. It was the love, trust, honor, and respect that made them family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they were inseparable.
Yeah, and they met in college, their freshman or sophomore year or something like that.
High school.
Yeah, now it was many years later, and they were all living their lives. Some was married, others wasn't. They all had something going on. One was going through a big civil case, another one was going through cancer, another was going through relationship problems. Yeah. They all was going through stuff. But let's get to the nitty gritty. Let's start off with the one that was the most drama. That was Nicole. They called her Nikki. So Nikki worked at this big company called Triscope.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. And she was making, what was she making? 6 figures a year, doing very good for herself. Her and her husband, I forgot her husband's name, remember?
Greg?
No, that wasn't Greg.
James, I'm sorry.
Her husband James, if that was it, if we got it right.
James.
So her and her husband James doing well, so it seems. She's making great money, got a great house, nice neighborhood, doing great. Her boss, Fred, had her as his protege up under her. And Nicole was a very good worker. Everybody loved her at the job, did excellent work at the job. When she had to go to other companies to communicate with them, man, she always did a great job. Great communication skills. And one thing that really grabbed me in the beginning of this book was Fred, the owner. He loved her because she was such a great woman. Yes. This a young, vibrant, tenacious black woman that's doing her thing. And as always, I'm gonna give you a word of the day. The word of the day is gonna be tenacious. What is tenacious? A person that, it means firm, to hold tight, to be strong at something, to be consistent with something. So anyway, Fred was a great boss. Fred was the type of boss that was any and everybody in the world, there was their dream if you had this guy as your boss. This guy was the world's greatest boss. I love the speech that he gave he did a conference with any and everybody. Yes, you heard me say any and every single person that worked at the job. He had everybody at a conference meeting. And I love the speech that he gave to everybody. He said, listen, I may be the owner and Nicole may be the CEO, whatever the case. He said, but look, everybody here is doing wonderful and we feel like a family. He said, but look, everybody is to always respect everybody that work here. All the way from the owner of the company, all the way down to people that work in the office, even down to the janitor. Because let me tell you something. Without that janitor, you wouldn't be able to go in these spicky-span clean bathrooms and be able to do your personal business and it be so nice and clean and smelling wonderful. So you even respect the janitor in this building. He had a philosophy of when you treat people wonderful, it makes the job not be a job. You know the old saying that said, when you love your job, it's not a job.
Exactly.
He made you love your job. You want to add something to that?
Exactly, because that's what happens in today's society. It's very hard to find a job like that. It's hard to find a boss or a leader that runs the company.
Everybody loved the company.
And then you got people that don't even want to go to the job because they treat you like a number. Mm-hmm. And in this case, he didn't treat everybody like a number. He treated like family.
Exactly. So then further on in the book, now all of a sudden, Nicole, you know, she got a little things with her and her man, because her man works at the place too, but he not climbing the ladder like her. He always wondering why. Communication skills or whatever talent. You know, Brandy, later on they find out she has cancer, And one of her breasts got to get cut off.
Yes.
And she got a multitude of kids. But her and her marriage with her husband is wonderful. Sakina, what was the deal with Sakina?
Sakina, she's happy, but she had sadness in her eyes.
Thank you.
Her husband wanted to really realize.
No, her fiance. They weren't married yet.
I'm sorry. Her fiance wanted to really know
why was it. And no matter what he did and showed her love and respect and time, he always noticed there was a sadness in her eyes that it's no matter what he did, he could never get that part of her. Like what is it that's bothering? She would never open up to him. And then you had Alexander. Alexander was that one friend that a lot of us always got. Always late. Always got something drama going on. Always got some nonsense going on. You're like, yo, what is her problem? So anyway.
But I did dig her role though.
Oh, when we tell you about Alexander.
Talk about somebody being on your side. Talking about somebody
being
finding
tenacious.
Yes. Talk
Strong,
about somebody
firm.
finding your battles or be able to have, like, once again, I said, have your back. And she was the one, but she did it.
She messed us up at first. We was like, what the heck? But she was very tenacious, strong, firm, consistent. You know, she had her back. So anyway, let's get on with it. So now what happened? Remember how great of a job Nicole has and how her boss loves her. All of a sudden, her boss tells her he has to go overseas to this trip. Make a long story short, as he go on this trip, flying this trip, the plane crashes and Fred dies. And it devastates the whole company. Immediately, the other owner hires this new guy, Tom Jakovitz. And when Tom Jakovitz comes in, his whole thing is he can't stand that Nicole, this young, black, beautiful woman, was up under Fred, and he inspired and admired her so much. He can't stand that she's in the position she's in, and he's doing everything to sabotage her. Whenever they have big meetings with other companies, he tell her the meeting's at 2 o'clock to be there, and then an hour before 2 o'clock come, he had the secretary Sheila call her and tell her, oh, the meeting's at 4 o'clock. And then when she show up at 4 o'clock, turns out the meeting was at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
Always sad. And she like, what the heck? Then when she confronts Sheila, Sheila denies everything. What are you talking about? I never called you. She's like, Sheila, I'm not crazy. Don't talk to me like I'm crazy. You did call me. You told me it was at 2 o'clock. Then you changed it at 4 o'clock.
But she started falling off though.
Yeah, and it started messing with her.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, the dude Tom Jakovitz sends her overseas to another convention where he knows all men. And all men that's wearing a certain type of suit and a certain color. And he told her to wear a red dress or whatever, where she looked so out of place. But with her demeanor and her tenacious behavior, she was still able to be strong and firm and still win the hearts of the people there and seal the deal with Sanjay. And even Sanjay realized, man, when they said you was coming, they put on her tag. Remember, her name is Nicole, and they call her Nikki. So on her tag, they put Nick, because it was all men. And when they met her, they said, wait a minute, we was expecting a man. It says Nick. And he's like, no, Nikki, right? So she seals the deal, comes back, and now they got a meeting. Sanjay flies all the way back from India to meet with Tom Jakovitz. And on a day to seal the deal with his company, buying this company, Tom Jakovitz did the same thing again. He tells Nicole it's at this time, and then he tells Sheila it's at another time. And then Sheila calls Nicole and tells Nicole, oh, yeah, they're finishing the meeting right now. And then all of a sudden, Tom Jakovitz calls her and says, don't worry about it. Your assistant that you hired, he took care of it. She's like, I don't got no assistant. What are you talking about? So when she goes in a meeting, even Sanjay happy to see her because he met her in India.
Yeah.
And then Tom tried to embarrass her in front of Sanjay. He go, well, we're really shocked that you didn't show up for the biggest meeting and signing deal of this corporation. You know, we're kind of disappointed at you, but it's okay. Your assistant that you hired, he took care of it. And the assistant gets up, a guy that he hired, he gets up and he goes over to Nicole and he go, hey, it's pleased to meet you. And I love what Nicole did. She did it right in front of Sanjay. She said, it's amazing that you say you're pleased to meet me when Tom said I was the one that hired you and I never seen or met you a day in my life. So Sanjay realized there's something going on fishy.
Yeah, they got him.
But I'm talking too much now. You go ahead.
No, it's good. It's all good. Because the thing is, you got a lot of places like that people try to play you off.
Yeah.
Because they want your position.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really was happening to Nicole.
Yeah.
They were playing her so much that the company didn't.
Yeah.
The
Nobody stood on her back.
Leader
stood up to her. Even Sheila kept lying. And then remember, Tom Jakovich whispered in her ear when he shook her hand and told her the meeting's over. He said, "You should have did what I told you to do in the first business. What all women should do: go home and put on some slippers and get pregnant and cook."
He was such a.
She was like, "You son of a."
He was a stereotype.
Yeah, a racist, all that.
All of that.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that see what goes around comes around. People like that, they will actually get theirs.
Yeah. So next thing you know, Nicole wound up going home, and through all this stress, because there's a whole lot more that we ain't telling you. Through all this stress, she's on medication. She's seeing a psychiatric. Her husband all of a sudden is a little distance with her. And next thing you know, they call her in the office, and it's a bunch of signed checks for over $300,000 with her signature on it. And she's like, "I didn't do this." They call the police and all this stuff. They get her locked up. All fraudulent, but they say it's her signature. And it is her signature, but she's like, "I didn't do this."
Exactly.
Next thing you know, when she puts her house up for collateral, she gets out. And when she goes home, as soon as she see her husband never came to the jail or nothing.
I didn't like her man. I really didn't like her man. Her man was just, I think he was a weak ass. He was a weak ass.
When she go home, she already dealing with a bunch of stuff. And her friends, they did support her. They at the jail. They come home with her. And as soon as she get home, she telling her man how much she need him. And that's the day he says, "You know what? It's always been about your job. Your job, your job, your job. But you know, it's your day to listen to me. You know what? I want a divorce. It's over." She's like, "What? And man, all that I'm going through, you want a divorce today?"
On top of that, it was the setup anyway.
Turns out
he was also actually jealous of his
very
wife.
jealous.
She couldn't even be very open with him, stating that she got a promotion at the job.
And he was jealous.
Because from the beginning, remember, they used to work together, and she was always getting promoted.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Yeah,
and
he was jealous.
Getting jealous.
I was bugged. I was tripping. I said, "Yo, he want a divorce after all she going through right now. This is not the time. Like, what the hell? She needs your support." And he filed for divorce, but we turned out later, Tom Jakovich got to him too. He paid him off to divorce your wife. And remember, he was always jealous of her anyway.
Yeah.
I said, "What a sucker."
Yeah.
Right? So now, she wound up one day overdosing in pills, and when they save her in the hospital, this and that, even the psychiatrist and the doctor say, "Well, what was supposed to be a mistaken medication was intentional. She tried to kill herself because she was on a loose end." So now her friends is hiring detectives and stuff and looking into this stuff. And all along, one day Brandy and Alexander, they get in a big argument because Alexander all dressed up going on a date when her man is out of town. So Brandy's like, "Who you getting all dressed up for?" And Alexander said, it's not for me to let you know right now, but eventually I'll let you know. It's something big." And she's like, what could be big? But you messing around on your man.
Yeah, but they gave her the benefit of the doubt because she was always, since high school,
she always going to go. Spontaneous, yeah.
She was always flirtatious.
So Alexander tells her, "I'll just tell you this one thing. It's something big I'm doing right now, and the guy that I'm dating, he is super rich." And Brandy's like, "But why you cheating on your man? You got a good man." You got her man, Greg, right? And she's like, "It's none of your business. Just know that the guy's rich." So it's like, yo, that's foul. You got a good man.
Had us fooled.
Yeah. But, we can go all on day over this, but just to sum it up for you, eventually, it turns out Alexandra was this highly, real light-skinned woman. Yeah. She kind of reminded me of the woman. Y'all remember the actress that was in Jungle Fever that played Wesley Snipes' wife? Yeah. Remember that? Remember how light she was? Yeah. She didn't look like a white lady. I love that scene in Jungle Fever. Remember the part where she said to Wesley Snipes when he cheated and she found out? She said, "Get out of my house, you black motherfucker!" Remember, that was so funny. But anyway, that's how Alexandra was. She was real high yellow, so much so she looked at white. And then she had her hair bleached. Turns out she was meeting up with this rich guy. She was meeting up with the owner of Triscope over Tom Jakovich. She's meeting up with the owner, and she was sacrificing her body all for her cousin, having sex with this old man, seducing him and everything. But you know what happened in all of that seducing? There's a lot of pillow talking going on.
Yeah.
And in the pillow talking, the owner admitted to her that he's been setting up this black girl named Nicole, and he's doing everything to sabotage her job. Matter of fact, he went as far as to sabotage the plane that Fred was on and got him killed and other people killed too. And she's not only is she recording this mentally, she had a recorder with her every time he was saying all this stuff. And now she's fighting it in court, Nicole, and Alexander's a secret weapon. And on the day in court, all these times she's going to court, and the whole time, her lawyer, he looked so confident.
But exactly. I was gonna say, don't forget, Chris, which
Chris,
is the lawyer, knew exactly what Alexander was doing.
Was a secret weapon.
Was the secret weapon.
And Nicole, all the time, she was losing the case horribly. But she was fighting and crying. She went up on the stand when he told her not to. And the whole time she kept saying, I don't know why my lawyer, he looked like so confident that we're going to win this. And we're doing terrible. They got all kind of receipts showing that I did this and I did it and I didn't. Next thing you know, on the last day when they try to sum it up, Chris, the lawyer, says, Your Honor, can we take a recess? Because my client is not feeling good. And they was like, she's breaking down.
Breaking down because she seen herself that there was no way she could have won this case.
No way. They had her. And next thing you know, the lawyer goes out and they call Alexander, where are you at? Where are you at? She's like, oh, I broke my shoe. I'm on my way now. and the whole time, all this time she's been going to court, Sakina, Brandy was showing up. Alexander never showed up. And they was like, what kind of friend is you? No, that was her cousin. It's like, what kind of cousin you? Yo, she needs your support. You ain't at none of the court dates.
She was not in court for about what, 2.5 years?
The whole time.
2.5 years.
Yeah, the whole time she never showed up. But on the day of the final day, she showed up, and now we understood why she never showed up, because now the owner was there, and the moment she walked in that courtroom, and they was about to seal the deal, but when she walked in that courtroom,
hell broke loose.
Yeah, she went right up to Nicole lawyer, whispered something into his ear, and sat down behind him, and immediately Mr. Burgess, when he seen that happen, he knew right then and there, because Mr. Burgess' wife is the sister of Fred, who he had killed.
That got killed. Yeah.
So when he seen, they sabotaged. They was real. Alexander was very tenacious the whole time that she sacrificed her body, her relationship with Greg, just to protect her cousin. And right away, the owner was like, Your Honor, hey, everything that Nicole is saying is the truth. I want to end this case right now. Let's just end it right now. I'm guilty. Everything Tom did, he threatened to kill my family. Let's settle out of court. And we was like, yo, because all along he knew not only that Alexander could prove everything that Nicole was saying was the truth. Y'all sabotaged her. Even all her employees, they turned their back on her. But not only that, it also proved that you had an airplane crash just to kill this man. It killed other men, other people as well. But not only that, you killed your wife's brother. This man will be gone for life. So he settled out of court with her for $1 billion, not million with an M, B, billion.
She's paid.
But isn't that amazing what Alexander did? She was very tenacious. I want to protect my sister. But it even challenged her relationship with her friends, because they thought that she was not supporting her. She was supporting her the whole time, bigger than anybody could ever think.
Exactly. But when they realized the truth of everything what she had done, they will give her and give her the most up respect.
Yeah.
Of her that
she.
And so she got $1 billion. She better get some of that.
She got way more than $1 billion. Because now they went on they went to St. Thomas. Oh, we gotta explain the sadness in the eyes. Remember about Sakina?
Oh yeah.
So after she won the $1 billion and all that, her lawyer and her started to connect and all that. Remember, she divorced her husband.
Yeah.
But he divorced her. So now he told her, why don't you go to St. Thomas? Remember, we've been to St. Thomas. Yeah. We done been to so many islands. It's amazing. But anyway, he advised him to go to St. Thomas. He hooked them up at this big villa. It had this big limo and all this. And they had these 4 gorgeous, 6 foot tall, gorgeous built men that they was like, we here for your every need. Anything and everything, nothing is off limits. Anything you women want. You know what that meant. Yeah. It was like, hey, what the heck is going on? They knew how to do hair. They knew how to do clothes. They knew how to sew, massages. They was gorgeous looking guy. It was like, what a dream. Right? This joker here was like, oh man, there was a good looking guy. She reading, right? So anyway, one night while they there, they go to a concert, a small concert. And while they at the concert, who does Sakina see? She can't believe it. She look on stage, and it's her old college love, the guy she fell super in love with.
Can you imagine? After 9 years?
After 9 years. What a coincidence. All the way at the same time. And they hook up, they talk and all this, and he tell her how he never stopped loving her, he still loves her.
But she never stopped loving him.
She never stopped loving him.
Even though she loved her husband.
That was that sadness.
Yes.
And so now they spent the night together, this and that, and he asked her to leave her soon-to-be husband, because they weren't married. He said, won't you leave him, and I never stop loving you, I want to marry you, and we're going to be good together. And she was willing to do it.
Yeah, because remember, back 9 years ago.
When I was reading that part, I was pissed off.
Yeah, 9 years ago, remember, she waited for him.
The reason they broke up in the first place. Because he was a musician.
Yeah, he said that he had to go overseas.
I gotta go to tour here and tour here. Just wait for me.
But he never came back.
And that's why she was always sad. Like, I'm waiting for the guy. So now, years later, he did all this apology and said, yo, we'll be together. And she was with it. She was willing to drop her husband. And I said, yo, see how I was pissed off. Like, see how women be doing flip-floppy? I was mad. Right? But then on the night before they left, then he told her how everything gonna be with them two, and he said, "Listen, I got a tour in Japan. I'm gonna be doing this tour in Japan for 1 whole year. So I just want you to wait for me, and when we get back, we can do everything you want." And that's when it clicked.
Yes.
And that's what she wants. She said, "You son of a bitch! I was actually willing to give up my soon-to-be marriage for you. That's the exact same thing you did to me 9 years ago. I don't believe that I was just about to do the same dumb thing again for your sorry butt. You know what you could do? Get the hell up out." Get the hell up and get the hell out of my room.
Yeah.
So now, the whole time, her friends, Brandy, Sakina, Brandy, Alexis, and Nicole was the whole time eavesdropping on the door. And when they kicked out, they were so proud of her. Like, girl, you got a good man at home. You about to dump your man for this sorry dude. So when they went home, it was Sakina, right? Then Sakina, on the night before she's going to get married to her man, she called him up and said, I got to talk to you. He was having a bachelor party. She said, I know you doing your thing, but this is important. And she spilled all the beans of what happened over at St. Thomas. Now, you know, me and her went through it on this part. I said, she didn't tell him everything. She didn't say how they spent the night together and all this. But it turns out it was something more deeper than that, too.
Yeah, there's a high chance, going back to what you were saying, there's a high chance that she did tell, there's a high chance that she did tell him because she loved him. But at the same time, whatever it was done, it's irrelevant. Then life goes on. That's my opinion.
Yeah, right. Because we was going back and forth. I said, you really think she told him everything? Because in the book it said they spent a night of passion together, whatever, this and that. Yeah, and I was like, so now on the night when you back home, you realize you're going to make a big mistake. You kick the guy out. Now you telling your soon-to-be husband on the night before, you stop his bachelor party to tell him everything. And I said, she ain't going to tell him everything that they had sex and all this.
But they didn't.
But exactly. We found out. And then she admitted everything, that she was willing to make the mistake and drop what she had. And she told him, I know you're a good man. And together we'll be great. And I almost made a huge mistake of listening to this fool. And he said, well, do you love him? And she's like, no, I love you. And then he was like, well, did y'all have sex? And then this the part that shocked me. She said, I'm not here to lie to you or anything. She said, we never had sex. And he said, what do you mean? She said, we never, ever had sex. He said, you mean over in St. Thomas? She said, no, I mean ever. Even when we was in college and fresh out of high school, we never had sex. So he said, what? And then that's when she dropped the bomb. She said, Greg, the first night me and you had sex, that was the first time I had sex a day in my life. He said, so you telling me you? She's like, yes, I was a virgin. And right then and there, he said, honey, that made their love that much. See, that's what a lot of women and a lot of men got to understand. When you really drop the veil of all the hidden secrets and all the nonsense, when you really are open with your loved one, and even though it may be some deep, dark secrets sometimes, but when you let it out, it's only respect have to come after that. They might not like what you said at the moment, but when they take time to be rational, they realize, she told me the truth. And they heard it, but she told me the truth. man, I respect her and love her even more.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah,
And
anything
after
else?
that, no, but you didn't finish. After everything was
Oh,
over,
yeah.
he brought her home. He finally saw her eyes.
Happy.
Sadness,
That's
the
right.
sadness was gone.
It was, thank
It
you.
was
I almost
gone.
forgot.
It was gone.
He said, I realized you needed to go over to St. Thomas.
You
And
need
whatever
to go
happened
through
with
that
you and that
experience.
dude,
Yeah.
you needed that to happen. He said, because I noticed that sadness is no longer in your eyes. He said, I could see the sparkle and the beauty now. And even she finally realized he's right. She was holding on to dead weight with that dude. Now that it was gone, she had every reason to be happy now. You're right.
Yeah.
That was cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
She correct me. She good. That girl good. That girl good.
But the thing is that it's like if you're not happy with yourself, you can't expect to make somebody else happy.
Uh-huh.
And that's how I look at Sakenda.
Mhm.
As long as she had sadness in her eyes, there is no way she could make her man or anyone around her happy 100%.
And it's just a book, but I was even proud of Greg. I said, man, he was like, I noticed that sadness is gone. You needed that trip. You
Yes.
needed to confront that guy. And I'm glad you came to your senses. And that made them that much greater. Now, there's a whole lot more to talk about with the book, but we're going to finish because the video get too long. But let me tell you about me actually meeting this lady. Now, I don't expect her to know me, but hey, I'm going to try to reach out to her if she remember signing my book, like I said. You see right there, she signed it and all. Now, let me tell you about the story how I met her, because this is a doozy too. Me and an acquaintance of mine, we was in the mall. I think it was close to Mother's Day, if I'm not mistaken, because he was going to get something for his wife for Mother's Day. I wasn't going to get her nothing. Get her nothing for Mother's Day. Now, I'm joking. I'm joking, but watch this. Do I get you anything for Mother's Day?
No, every day you get me something.
There you
Bobby.
go. I remember in the beginning of our relationship, I didn't get her something for Mother's Day, and she said that to me. And let's say the next year, she said it again. She said, babe, why don't you ever get me something for Mother's Day? I was like, because you don't deserve it. It's like, nah, I ain't see that. Like my nephew. It's like, nah. He always says, it's like, nah. Nah, but I told her, I said, listen, I don't do what everybody else do. I said, it's a reason I don't get you something for Mother's Day. She said, yeah, but babe, it would be nice if you do like everybody else, give me something for Mother's Day. I said, whoa. I said, babe, I bring you flowers home on a random day. You know why? Just because you're my wife. Just because I think you deserve it. Just because I seen them in the store. I get a gift delivered to the house while I'm at home, while I'm at work. Just because on a random day. I remember all the times you used to go to work when she did used to work before she was a bum. Remember all the times we used to go to work? Remember all the little things I used to do? I would pack her a lunch, for example, at night. And I would write a little small love note, or even if it was just the words, I love you. And I would go out in the middle of the night while she was asleep. And I would stick that on the steering wheel. I love you. Something simple like that.
Used to.
And in the morning when she would get up, she would see stuff like that. And then to pack a lunch, I would take let's say I packed her, a sandwich. I would put a piece of plastic around a note that says, just thinking about you, love you. And put that in there so when she go to bite it, it's like, what? She had to take that off. Oh, wow. See, I was doing all them little things constantly. So I told my wife, I said, the reason I don't get you a Mother's Day gift is because I think it's bogus that people wait for one day of the year to be nice to their wife, their mom, their sister, their auntie, whoever, the grandma. I said, so babe, if you want, I'll get you a Mother's Day gift like everybody else. But the whole year, all them things I do for you, I'm going to stop doing that. I said, what do you want? She's like, oh, no. Keep doing all the other stuff you do. I said, exactly. Now shut up. But anyway, let's get back to the lady, how I met her. So we was in around Mother's Day, and we was walking around the mall because he was trying to find something for his lady, not me. Right? So he's trying to find something for his lady. And as he was trying to find something for his lady, all of a sudden we went to make a turn around this in the middle of the mall, because you know I all come to the intersection. As we was turning, this rather tall woman, there's a reason I'm saying tall, because women, it's one thing for a woman to be fine, but when she tall on top of that, boy, her ego is so super big. This tall, very attractive woman was standing at a table next to two other women. And one of the women sitting down was the writer, her. And the tall, attractive woman, she flagged us down. Hey guys. She ran over to us. And as she was coming over to us, I remember I said to my dude, I said, yo, look at this chick coming over to us. I said, look, attractive looking tall woman, right? I said, yo, You know she's trying to sell us something, right? He said, yo, what you mean? I said, because normally, very attractive, especially tall women, they don't give you the time of day. They'll walk by us and act like they don't see us. We invisible to them. Unless they got something they selling or they want something from us. I said, in most cases, not all, you can never say all. I said, in most cases, that same woman wouldn't give us the time of day, no matter what it is we trying to get her attention for or whatever. Won't even say good morning, hi, good evening, nothing. So sure enough, I said all that real quick, and sure enough, she came up. She said, how you gentlemen doing? She look, do you guys read books? And what a coincidence. She ran into somebody that read a lot. You know what I mean? So what a coincidence. Maybe I had a target on me or something. And then when she said that, the dude I was with, he laughed. He said, this guy here, he read a lot. He said, I mean, I dib and dabble. He said, but this guy read a lot. She said, oh my gosh. She said, I knew it was some type of attraction. Bull crap. She said, I knew it was some type of, but it's a shame, but it really was. I wish women would stop being so egotistical, because it would blow their mind just how much of an attraction, or y'all might have some comparities with one another if you let down that guard of being stuck up or whatever. But anyway, she said, oh my gosh, what a coincidence. So we walked over to the table, and that's where I met the lady. And he kept saying how much I read, and I named a couple of books that I've just recently read. And I said, what a coincidence. I'm looking for a new book to read. And she said, what a coincidence. So we wound up buying, I think we bought 3 books off her. Obviously, this is one. And he bought one for his wife and one for his mother-in-law. So the reason I'm telling that story is I hope this video do go out to her, because I meant to try to contact her many years ago. But now you see, that's what went on that day when I got the book. That's how I got the book. And as I said, I'll show you one more time. Yes, she actually signed it for me. Much respect to her. But I just thought that, what do you think about that story? I was like, look at this lady. She wouldn't even dare come to us, over to us, and then acknowledge us on any random day. It's a shame when you got people, like, you could never say all.
I was getting ready to say.
You could never say all.
You got people, whether it's male or females, they only
when they want something. But overall, on a lighter note, Miss Phyllis Sims, this was an excellent book. This was an excellent book, and I'm glad your sister got up the courage to come over to us and speak to us and bring us to your table. And I'm proud to say I bought this book. Now, I read this book before, and I had my daughters read it, and then she read it, but she had kind of vaguely forgot. So I said, let's read it again, do a video on it. And it was even exciting like you read it the first time, right?
Cannot put it down. That's how good it was.
And it's an easy read. It's an easy read.
That's another thing I love about the book. Big words and not...
Yeah. It's an easy read.
Big words, and it's not much of long chapters.
Look, watch it. I'm just random page. Watch it. Look how easy to read it is. Nicole, Nicole, Nicole! A voice cried out, snapping Nicole out of her past and returning her to the present. What? What? A startled Nicole answered as she realized where she was, still sitting in her parked car with her car engine running and her windshield wipers going 100 miles a minute, scraping the dry glass with a loud lump, thump, 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 thump sound as she noticed the rain apparently stopped sometimes ago. This when Nicole was going crazy.
Yeah.
She was just sitting in the car, not really like, oh my God, they just driving me crazy. It's an easy read, but it's enough read to keep you interested. Love this book. Love the transaction I had with you and your sorority sisters. I hope that was really her sisters. Amazing story. Amazing story.
They were best friends.
Yeah.
Right? The only one that was related was the
Brandy and
Alexandra.
Brandy, no, Alexander and Nicole.
And Nicole.
Yeah. Anything in closing?
No, I think we overall everything.
Peace. Phyllis Sims.